Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to another episode of
A BJJ Marriage, where we talk about our lives as a married jiu-jitsu couple. I got excited. I got click happy.
3, 2, gotta be on time. Click. Oh no.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 47 of A BJJ Marriage. I'm laughing because we had to restart because our dog decided to bust through the barricade.
She was like, I'm not staying out of this episode today. And now she's in doggy jail for
dogs, man. I can't say.
So if you hear some crying in the background, it's because she's locked up and she's really sad she can't be around Garrick right now.
Yes, who's our special guest today.
Yes, welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for coming.
I'm excited.
Garrick is one of our fun, in the newest wave of white belts that have come to Fluid. And we really
that's nice to say.
Them.
These guys kill me. Trust me. I roll with both of them, and yeah. After what I witnessed yesterday, though, I mean, like, you taking it easy on me.
I don't know.
I was actually helping him warm up yesterday, and I was like pushing his chest and everything, and I looked at my dad, and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not in his weight class.
Yeah, I'm in his weight class. He's just a couple belts above me, and it should be more, but that's besides the case. So. But yeah, that was a lot of fun seeing you yesterday. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, thanks for coming out yesterday too.
Yeah,
really appreciate the support.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no problem. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed it too. You know, watching, you know, not only our school compete, but other schools compete. Yeah. Especially in our weight class and our division. Just, you know, testing out the field before I compete. So.
Yeah, because we're getting you ready for February.
Yeah, we are. For February, yeah.
It'll be your first competition, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah. I'm counting on it. Still have a lot of work to do. A lot of sessions, you know. Private sessions I have to get done, so yeah.
Because you take private lessons with Nick, right?
Yep, with Nick.
What we talked about last week, private lessons being beneficial.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. If you're a white belt, you know, and you want to get better, I would actually, you know, I would say this though, like, wait till you get your first stripe. You know, because you're not really knowing what you're looking for first. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, you don't really recognize the holes in your game. Mm-hmm. Even though you're a white belt, there's tons of holes, but there's specific things that you want to work on first. Yeah. And so I will go up to Nick and ask Nick, we've done probably, 4 sessions now? Somewhere around there. Yeah. And I would say, hey, can we work on butterfly? Can we work on, you know, any guard that you think that would be helpful for me? Yep. I'll go to Mike Coy. I say, oh, I like that, you know, submission. Can you teach me that? You know, so it's just, I would wait first before you know, just say, oh, let's just do
Dip your toes in first.
Yeah. But when you actually recognize what you can get better at, that's when you should do the private sessions for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Agreed.
But I definitely even seen like the progression, you know, since getting my first stripe, you know, with just going with private sessions.
Yeah,
you know,
with more focused training for yourself.
Absolutely. So,
yeah, agreed.
And it's a ton of fun, too.
Yeah.
A ton of fun.
More time on the mats is always fun. Yeah. That's what I say.
Yeah, and record it, too. Record it. That's one thing I do. I find myself looking at our sessions for, like,
more tips and details.
You know, any small details, especially when we roll after class, I'm like, why didn't I do this or that, or you know,
why didn't that work?
Yeah, exactly.
What detail am I missing?
Yeah, exactly. So it's very beneficial to record them too. You know, if they let you record.
He records all of his actual rolls too.
Yeah,
just put up a tripod.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing that, but I was thinking, I always go against the guys that are just much better than me. So it's like,
Catch-22.
Even if I do everything right, it'll look like I did everything wrong. So I don't even try it. So.
I find it's hard to record everything like that because I can't find the time to like go back and rewatch it.
Right.
And then it's like, why am I recording it?
Yeah.
And also, I did try when I was a white belt. If you look back at our channel, actually, the first 2 videos on it are me trying to vlog about being a white belt. And
That's great.
I tried to do that weekly, where I would record all my rolls and then build a narrative and then edit a vlog together out of it. But it would take me like way too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was spending like 4 or 5 hours on a day off that we would have together on the computer, and I'm like, this is not acceptable. You need to hang out with me.
Wow. Oh, so you guys actually met when you were a white belt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Well, we've been together for 8 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
so he actually started about a year and a half before I did.
Yeah.
Yes. Were you the one that convinced him? Because I remember Professor
Yes.
saying that he was trying to convince you for years.
Yeah.
To join.
Yeah,
whole
so
life.
the way that it worked is that my dad started when I was like 7 years old. And he would go to his school, which was Henry Matamoros, which is the godfather of Milwaukee Jiu-Jitsu. So shout out to him. He's in Colorado now. But he had his own school, and he was the only jiu-jitsu in Milwaukee at the time. And so that is where my dad started, and a couple other like natives around the city. And when
John Friedland.
Yeah, John Friedland. Tons of them. Just tons of them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
All the big names in Milwaukee.
yeah,
Right.
I started when I almost right away when he did, but there was no kids classes. There were no even females. There were just big, strong, giant males that looked like my dad. And I was like, well, this isn't fun.
She was like 7.
Yeah.
Trying to learn
Really?
jiu-jitsu.
And I remember specifically I was rolling with this one guy, and he was so sweaty. And I was just like, this 7-year-old me was just like, I hate this. So,
I can just imagine me being that guy because I'm like, I sweat so much when I roll. Like, I don't know why. It's ridiculous. I didn't know how much I actually sweat until I started jiu-jitsu.
Right?
You know,
Isn't it crazy?
I will start off, I will weigh myself before class. I'll be like 173, and then after I'll be like 168. It's like, I'm like, I lost that much weight. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I apologize to all my training partners because I remember when I was sparring with one of the kids and they were like, Mom, he's sweaty. I was like, well.
They say that about Coach Thaddeus too, because he sweats a lot.
Exactly.
And they're always like, ew.
Exactly.
They're so obnoxious. But that was me. I didn't like sweat when I was a kid.
Right.
So I just was super turned off from it for a long time. And then when I met Nick, my dad was trying to get Nick to train for so long, but he had started at the basement.
Oh, really?
And in the basement, I know this is like way before your time, but when we were in the basement church, like there was only like 2 or 3 classes a week, and they were only like at like 7 o'clock on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, let's say.
Okay.
And those were days he worked. And he worked until like 8 or 9 o'clock, so he couldn't go for a long time. And then finally he was able to incorporate it into his schedule, but it still didn't work for my schedule. So he trained for a year and a half, and then finally when he moved into the place that we're at now, the classes grew bigger, like there was more times, there was more like just accessibility. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll start. And it was actually kind of funny on the day that I did, because my dad, you know how he is, when people don't train, he like bothers them on the side. And he's like, when are you going to come train?
Right.
When are you going to start?
Everybody.
So he did it to me for the longest time. And then one day I just showed up.
When are you going to come train?
Yes.
Which, Nick, write that down.
But it was a day in April, I remember. And so it was still a little chilly, so I was wearing a sweatshirt, right? And my dad was like, when are you going to come train? And I like ripped open my sweatshirt like Superman. I was like, today! And I was in a rash guard.
And he was like, oh.
Yeah.
And from that point on, you loved it.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you regret not starting when you told you to start it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's everyone's number one regret in jiu-jitsu. They didn't start sooner.
Yeah, that's my regret. Trying to figure out like my situation at the time of being able to train consistently, because I did train in martial arts before, actually up the street. It was crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
We learn so much about people when we do this.
Yeah, right up the street at the Wing Chun Academy.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right there. I used to train there. And my dad trained there for a while.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. But
I've always wanted to try Wing Chun.
yeah, it was
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Something like that.
It was a lot of fun, I would say. But
How much do you know?
I know enough.
You could teach a class.
No, I don't know that. No, not that much.
Never mind.
No, I'm good. But I wouldn't say it was like it wasn't for me though.
Okay.
You know, it wasn't something that I really wanted to I always wanted to do jiu-jitsu. So, I played around at certain gyms around the area. So, I didn't really find a place that was actually comfortable.
Okay.
So I'm glad you guys picked me up at Fluid.
We just took you in.
Yeah, you guys just took me in early.
No, you've been a great addition to the team.
I appreciate it.
The amount of people that just praise you and just say, like, I love rolling with Garrick, or Garrick is such the, like, he's like the nicest guy, and I mean, we love having you there. So.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I can feel the love per se. But yeah, awesome. Fluid's a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. If you're in Milwaukee, come join us. Or if you're
traveling, drop in.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've actually gained some online friends through this podcast that we've said, like, oh, if we're in an area, we're going to come to yours. And if they're in our area, they're going to come to ours. So it's super cool. But Fluid has built a great atmosphere. And we just keep picking up new people that are just like you and Michael. Unfortunately, Michael isn't here with us today. But
that's my yin, we call him yin and yang.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the guy.
I love it.
That's the guy, he likes to destroy me, and, shout out to Michael.
It's
man.
good to have that training partner where you're both, like, equal level.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you get to push each other.
Exactly. We both started around the same. Actually, I started a month before him, but,
And right now, that's a big difference, but in a year from now, that won't be too much.
That won't mean a thing at all, so.
Because that's how Steve and I are.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah, Steve started like 6 months after me, which at the time it seemed like a really big difference. But now he's caught up to me in basically skill level.
Right.
And he's got the weight on me, so we're like very evenly matched.
Right. Yeah, Mike has the height.
Yes.
I just have more of the wrestling background because I know that will mean absolutely nothing when he incorporates those stupid legs.
When he figures out how to use them.
I hate those legs, man. I really do.
Get you, yeah.
When he really perfects those legs, I'm going to be so annoyed with him. So, shout out to Mike, though. But,
Mike is like 6'2" or something?
Yeah, about 6'2".
What is he, 155, 160 pounds?
He's actually around my size, 175.
I think he's around there.
Really?
Yeah.
He's about the same weight.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so.
One of the reasons I love training with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super fun. But we preach that all the time, how you need to have like that one training partner who's roughly at your skill level, around your weight, so that way you can get those hard competition rolls in. Yeah,
that's what I love about it too. I mean, because with us being there at the same time, we both push each other. Like when we see each other, we're like, okay,
it's going down.
We can go hard on each other,
yeah.
and it won't take it personal.
Yes,
Yep. You see the people who you can and cannot do that with in the gym.
There's some people that just can't like take it.
Absolutely.
And you're like, okay, we're gonna play a certain type of game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I call myself crazy for attacking you guys every time because every time I notice now. What I found out is certain people in the class, if I don't, it's just gonna be worse for me.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So take it, don't go barreling in, but I go as hard as I possibly can against them too, and oh my gosh, I'm always ended up in some weird position. I know, especially with this guy, he does like backflips in the middle of a row. I'm like, wait, how did you even get there?
He likes doing cartwheel passes.
Yeah. So
I like to fly around.
But yeah, I can't wait to see how the both of us, Mike and I, 2 years from now, where we're gonna be.
You're gonna be unstoppable.
I'm really interested to see that. Yeah.
It's been super fun, and you guys both recently just got promoted, so that's super exciting.
Yeah. In the same time frame too. That's something I like. Yeah,
that's super cool.
Well, you guys have been putting in the work. You've been showing that you've been improving, so it's very well deserved. It's not like it's just handed out.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Stripes are earned. Don't forget that.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate it. I was very surprised when I got mine though. Yeah. Because I was like, maybe I'll get it, but then I stopped doing it for the stripes though.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know what I mean? That's like, I don't want to say this doesn't mean anything, but it was at the same time I was just worried about me getting better at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. The stripe is just validation, honestly. It's not it's not going to make your jiu-jitsu better or worse. Just because you got a stripe yesterday does not mean that you're going to be better today. You know what I mean? Right. So, I mean, I remember when I got my first stripe, I was feeling on top of the world. And now I look back at that and I'm like, wow, I was an idiot. But that's how a lot of people feel. And
Yeah.
we like to tell people all the time, so we're going to tell you too, is that first stripe is, I think, the most important stripe that you'll get throughout your entire jiu-jitsu
Really?
career.
Wow.
Yeah, there's that one, probably your black belt.
You said your blue belt for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
getting a blue belt is, like, really, really cool.
Yeah, that's probably the third one.
Because we got our blue and purple on the same day, and he was
Right.
like, honestly, getting a blue belt is, like, way more special than getting a purple belt, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't
Yeah,
understand
so-
that feeling yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the first stripe on your white belt, probably getting your black belt, and then getting your blue belt. Those are the top 3 promotions, I think, for me.
Wow. That's pretty cool, though. I mean, I remember when I got it, I was just like, wait, I'm getting it right now?
That can't be for me.
The professor, he put the pressure on me, right? Because we were doing a mountain drill, and he was like, yeah, if you don't get this, I'm not giving it to you. With the stripe in his hand. With the stripe in his hand. So I'm like, okay, more pressure added. And I'm like,
awesome.
And then it was so funny because I was like, okay, wait, now that I saw the stripe in his hand, I'm like, okay, what are we doing again? I was just completely confused, but
Just blanked out.
yeah.
Get out of mount, get out of mount.
Right.
It's so funny.
So, but yeah.
Those mount drills
it was
helped
a
me
lot
in
of fun.
competition yesterday.
Dude.
Can we get into that in a little bit? Because that's going to be a whole own topic.
Yeah.
But, so you were surprised when you got your first stripe.
I was very surprised, yeah.
Do you feel like you earned it? Do you feel like you deserve it? Because you
For
definitely do.
sure. Well, it was one of those things, like I said before, I wasn't really doing it for the stripe at that point.
Love that mentality.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how you know he's going to stick around.
Yeah,
right?
like, for me, I was like, I forgot who I was talking to, but I was like, I would rather be an overpowered 1 stripe than an underpowered 3 stripe or underpowered 4 stripe.
Yep, for sure.
I just want to see, like, and what I do after every class, I'm like, okay, did I leave this class better? And if not, I need to really figure something out next class.
I love him.
So like, yeah. I train 5 days a week, 2 of those days, I'm like, okay, I'll go really hard. Now that we have competition rules, you know.
You know what days you can go hard.
Yeah, I know what days I can go hard. But even after the 2 competition rolls last week, I was like, okay, Thursday nights, I'm like, I'm going to take it easy.
So you're figuring out that, because my dad's rule is 20%, 40%, 80% days. And he picks those 3 days a week, and then he'll either flow on a 4th day or just won't roll at all.
Right. Yeah. So, it's, but yeah, back to first stripe. It was honestly a good feeling though, getting it. Just professor recognizing that, okay, I deserve it. Even some of the guys were like, yeah, you definitely deserved it. I definitely felt it. So that was pretty awesome. I definitely did not see it coming for sure.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Even though we don't train to get promoted, it still feels good when you get promoted.
Right. Absolutely. It just shows you like the hard work. And this stripe for me, like, I did a lot of great things this year. Like when it came to like my personal life as well. So that's what that stripe represented. Not only starting with jiu-jitsu, which is like the best thing that I did all year, but yeah, it was like, it represented so much for me. So that's why I can see why you guys say that first stripe is just like the most important stripe you'll get.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I remember when Ashley got her first stripe, she texted me and she was in all caps. She was super excited. She's like, I feel on top of the world. I'm ready to go fight everyone.
Bring it on, girl. I saw a meme on Facebook where they were like, a girl was like, I only date bad boys, and then it was like a 1 stripe. Yeah. I was like, oh, that one hurts. I was like, that hurts.
Yes.
I love that.
But I'm really excited though. Especially our gym too is like, you really don't have those people at our gym that you're like, you wouldn't roll with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's like,
we don't have like real mat bullies.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for maybe my dad.
He picks and chooses when
I'm
to bully.
just kidding.
He'll definitely kick your butt.
But not in a way that makes you hate your life.
Yeah.
A way that makes you just disappointed in yourself.
Right. He's definitely the one that would definitely kick your butt for sure, for sure.
But you're right. We've created a very good atmosphere.
Absolutely.
We try to make sure that everyone wants to roll with everyone.
Yeah.
And I know that like that's something that Ellie's been working on in her women's class is that we actually put aside a half hour of class just to roll, and she makes it very important that everyone rolls with everyone. Like you're not allowed to skip people unless we run out of time. You have to stay on the mat the whole time. Like you need to roll with everyone because you need to get in that mentality that if you can't roll with everyone, then how are you going to protect yourself?
Right.
Like if you're going to pick and choose who you're going to roll with here at the gym and someone attacks you on the street, you don't get to pick who attacks you.
Right.
So
that's a Tuesday night class, right?
Yeah. So you're not allowed at.
Yeah, I'm not allowed at.
I've tried wigs, tried dresses.
you tried
identifying differently. It hasn't worked.
Yeah, Ellie also runs a flow class as well.
I would say flow really like that's what really got me relaxed in jiu-jitsu because when you always start off, you know, and what I've noticed with nobody coming in, it's always just
shaking.
Yeah.
You know,
you can just feel people shaking.
Exactly.
Like
it's like it's
muscles.
crazy. Yeah. I know. I remember when the first time I went against you and Coach Stadius. All right.
Okay.
Both of you.
Yeah.
I was like nervous because I was like, okay, the next move I do, I'm gonna be in trouble. So I remember just staying in your full guard. I was like, nope, I'm not moving. I am not moving.
Yeah.
So I remember one day, and Thaddeus is gonna laugh at this, but I remember the second week of me joining and Professor Flow Roll. It was a no-gi day. And you guys had competition rolls over there.
Sure.
And so Thaddeus was like, oh, let's flow. For sure. Right? And we get to flowing. And then out of nowhere, I'm tapping like 7 times. And I'm like, what is going on? And then Thaddeus is like, oh, my bad. I was in competition mode. I forgot that quick. And ever since then, I will never let him live that down. I will never let him live that down. I'm like, no, because I was like, yep. Won't be attacking you either.
That is so funny.
But still to this day, I always attack him. So it's a lot of fun.
He likes it.
Yeah, he does. Shout out to Coach Thaddeus. But yeah, that was my introduction to jiu-jitsu as well, you know. So
I remember you used to like strictly go to flow classes, and I never got to see you.
Yeah.
And I remember telling him, I was like, that guy's name is Garrick, right? And he's just like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I haven't rolled with him yet. I need to go get him. And
yes, I remember. You were like, hey, my name is Brittany. I haven't rolled with you that. And I was like, oh, another person that's gonna kill me. Great.
I did
more.
No,
more. No, she took it easy on me, guys. Right? Yeah.
No, I was just because I try to roll with everyone.
Yeah.
Like I don't really, like we said, we don't not roll with people. And so, especially being a female in the gym, like some girls are a little scared to roll with the brand new white belts because they are strong, they are rigid, they are like, I need to power over you. So a lot of girls don't like doing it, and I get that, I understand that.
And that's where injuries come from.
Yes, but I love rolling with those people. Yeah. Like I literally, I've told people multiple times that people like James, like the bigger guys, the bigger white belts, they're my favorite. Yeah. Like I love attacking them. I love jumping over their guard, and I love putting them in arm bars because I like them to see that just because you're big and strong does not mean you can kill me.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but then once they get to like Joe's skill or Brent's skill,
then it's scary.
That's when it gets scary.
Yeah, then you're like, oh shit.
When I go against Joe all the time, I'm like, okay, here we go. It's like no one should be that big and that flexible. You know what I mean? I'm like, how did you even get your leg behind my head in full? I'm like, what? What is going on?
That's not normal.
Yeah, it's like you're not doing normal stuff. So you know, it's fun though. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
But I scoped you out, and I definitely scoped Michael out, because there was a long time that Michael was in class, and I never even knew his name.
Really?
Like, I just kept telling him, I'm like, what is that guy's name? And he's like, Michael. And I'm like, why can I not remember that? And I just was like, Michael, we've never rolled. And for some reason, it was always just like we never got to each other. And one day I went straight up to him right after class. I was like, we're rolling now. And he was like, yes, let's do it.
He told me, like, your wife called me out yesterday. We had to roll.
And then I think it was just this week, on like Wednesday or something. We rolled 3 times, and as we were rolling, because it's only been 6 months that he's been there, right? And as we're rolling, and for the 3rd roll in a row, I was just like, Michael, we're making up for all that time that we didn't get to roll together.
Right, yeah. He's a fun roll. He definitely is. Yeah. When I go against Michael, we're like, okay, do you want to keep on going? Yeah. So we'll go like 10 minutes at a time. We're both dead by that. You know, love the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's super fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, kind of bridging off of that too, another like rule of thumb for me, and maybe this sounds a little harsh, but we have a lot of people at Fluid, right? We have like 120 members, I think it is, and then people are just coming and going all the time. But the emphasis
the rule
on
is
that,
you can't remember their name until they get the first stripe.
Yeah, okay, that's where I was getting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was just joking.
Not that mean. No, not that mean. It's that. I'm not. So I will
She's
roll
savage.
with anyone and everyone. Like, I have no problems. I love it. But the only way that I really like know that you're gonna stay is if you get your first stripe. Then I'll start like associating myself with you more. Like that's when I'll start learning your last name. That's when I'll start like inviting you over.
Right.
Like that. But if you don't have your first stripe yet, I'm like, I don't know if you're gonna leave me, and we're gonna build this relationship.
It is crazy though. I mean, you're right though. It's crazy because like the people that I came with in August when I joined, they're not. It's a lot of people that has not came back.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, and they pop in once in a while. They're like, hey, you know, and I'm like,
oh, I remember you.
Oh, hey, I remember you. I've seen you in like 6-7 months.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you'll probably kill me now. And I'm like, no. But yeah, it's. I mean, I get it because like a lot of people, you know, whatever personal reason they're not, you know, coming, but they come and go.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And that's why I don't want to build that relationship. Get close with these people, really enjoy their company, and then just have them never show up again.
Right.
So my validation is when people get their first stripe, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're probably not leaving.
That's actually pretty. That's nice. Well, I'm glad I got my first stripe.
And it's not that I don't talk to them, and it's not that I don't like them. It's just I just want them to stay, and I don't want to build that relationship and then have myself be disappointed. You know?
That makes sense.
I find myself trying to build relationships with those people to get them to want to come back for the relationships rather than just go in jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Really, my goal is I just get friends with the guys so I can get them to bring their wives in. That's
nice.
That makes sense. But yeah, I try to welcome all of the beginners because I know how intimidating and scary it is to know nothing and come in and try to not die.
I even try to do that as well.
Yeah.
You know, especially, and I'd like to show people like our culture at Fluid. You know, we are an open gym. You know, we're just anyone could come.
Right.
And
we have skill levels everywhere too. We have first dayers almost all the time, and then we have all the way up to 4 black belts at our gym.
Yeah.
So
it's you know, it's a growing gym rapidly.
Yeah,
you know,
it's super fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
There's a reason it's growing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually had said to my dad last week, and he cracked up at me and said it should be a whole podcast episode, but I'm going to say this now. Pro tip. You should become friends with higher belts because you know that they're not leaving. Like, if you're a white belt, become friends with the blues, with the purples, with the browns, and like actually start associating yourself with them. Learn what they're doing. Roll with them all the time. Hang out with them outside of the gym because you know that
you can steal their knowledge.
But like you know that if you're friends with a colored belt, they're probably not going anywhere.
Right.
Like you can build that relationship and know that it's solid.
Yeah. Is it true that when you go to blue belt, like a lot of people will leave jiu-jitsu at blue?
There is a blue belt blues.
Yep.
Really?
Yes. So the way that it works is that when you get your blue belt, and I haven't gotten there. Hopefully I don't.
I was like, what? You haven't
Hopefully
gotten your blue belt? Am I colorblind?
Right.
So the way that it's explained is when you're a white belt, you're seeing everything for the very first time. Like, everything is just brand new to you. You're like, holy crap, I didn't know my body could move that way. I didn't know that move was possible. I didn't even know that was a thing. And you're just learning all this new stuff, and you're constantly excited. You're constantly energized. You're constantly motivated to try all these new things. By the time you're at blue belt, now you've seen it all.
Right.
And now it's just kind of figuring out what works for you.
Yeah.
But sometimes people get in that mentality where they're like, well, I've seen that already. Why do I have to learn that again? And then that's where the blue belt blues starts coming in.
Yes, and then you're supposed to be good at jiu-jitsu. You're supposed to know things. You're supposed to be able to beat up all the white belts.
Right.
But there comes a period in your blue belt where you're still getting smashed. You're still sucking. It's still hard to submit white belts. white belts still keep getting better while you are also still getting better, right?
Right.
But as the skill evens out a little bit, like the top white belts and the blue belts are very similar. And if you have that expectation that you're always supposed to be better than other people, or you're supposed to be good at jiu-jitsu and you still get smashed all the time by everybody, then that is very disheartening.
Right.
And that's where you've seen everything kind of comes in, because you're growing at a much more rapid pace right now as a white belt than I am, because I've been training for almost 3 years. So now I'm in that phase where I've seen everything, and now I'm just fine-tuning things. Whereas you're learning all this new stuff, you're trying all this new stuff, whereas I'm still working on my game. And so that's why our roles are so like the way that they are, because you are getting better, and I'm still getting better, but you're getting better on a super high slope, and I'm getting better on a slope like this at this point now. Like, my slope has already ended here, and now I'm going like this, whereas you're still going completely straight up.
Got you. Oh, that makes sense, huh?
Yeah, because you still come to class and you'll be like, I've never seen that.
Right.
And maybe the things that you're seeing for the first time work way better for you than the things that I've seen and are not working for me.
Right.
So that's where the blue belt blues comes in, and that's why a lot of people end up quitting. And that's why when you go to even other gyms, or you even saw at the competition yesterday, how many white belts there were versus how many blue belts. And I like to look at it as like a tier of a cake.
Right.
So like the bottom tier is the white belts, then you have the blue belts, and then you have the purples and the browns, and those fine few make it to black.
Wow, that's pretty cool, because like it's funny that you bring that up, because you didn't have anyone in your division really.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
And 170 is, I feel like, it's like one of the popular ones, right? And like seems like a lot of, I would probably, like, when I compete in my first competition, I would have no problem going in.
No.
You know,
he had 12 matches his first competition.
12 matches?
Yeah.
At 185, but yeah.
Was it Fuji or?
No, it was Grappling Industries.
Wow.
You won't have that many at Fuji.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if you win every single one, you might.
Are you serious?
I'm like, man, I gotta run home, dude. I gotta get this cardio together. I only have a month left. But that's pretty crazy. I mean,
I also recently went up an age bracket.
Oh, okay.
So,
really?
Yes, because
Even
there's
worse.
an age bracket 30 to 40.
Right. So even worse, that even slims down a lot more. You know, will they let you go down an age bracket or no?
Yeah, the thing is, you just sign up at your age and your weight, and they put you in the best spot they think to put you in as the organizer. So, like, there was already people in the, actually, there wasn't even any 170 purple belts besides me, but there was, like, 155 purple belts in the adult class, and then the guy I went against, I think he was in the senior, which is 40, or there's master, senior, executive, something like that.
Executive. That was the E word I was trying to think of yesterday.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And he was in the next age bracket, but he was also up a weight bracket.
Gotcha,
so then they decided to put us together.
Gotcha.
To offset those two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the organizers will put people where they, and like you said, it is harder the higher rank you are to find matches in general, unless you go to like the big competitions that we're planning on going to in Florida.
Yeah, that's where IBJJF comes in, and that's why you see when you go to places like IBJJF, and I know you haven't been to one yet, but it's typically mostly purple and up, like mostly, because whites and blues still get a pretty decent amount at local tournaments, but once you start hitting purple and brown, and especially black, like you're not going to get anything, and if you do, you're going to go against someone you know, because it's a local tournament, so you might as well go to IBJJF, go against people from around the world, and really test your jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll get there one of these days.
You will, with the right mindset.
Yeah.
You just can't quit at blue. That's it.
Yeah.
Or white. Yeah. A lot of white belts quit too.
Really?
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
more
most
white belts quit.
More white belts quit than blue belts.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
From a statistics standpoint, because a lot of people don't make it to blue. Really.
Right.
A lot of people don't make it to the first try.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people did you say
that
you saw in August
that is true.
that didn't come?
Yeah.
But
and how many people do you think we've seen that have?
Yeah, I can only imagine. I've only been there for 6-7 months, so.
Yeah, I've been a bit over 4 years.
I've been almost 3. In April, it'll be 3.
So you're seeing so many people come and go.
Lots of waves. Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, I love rolling with people and talking to everyone, but I won't like physically associate myself with you outside of the gym until you get your first stride, because I don't want to be disappointed.
Right.
Because I've done that. I've been friends with multiple girls who have come in, and I've been so excited to like work with them and hang out with them and all this stuff, but then they just stop showing up, and I'm like, what happened to you?
Right.
Yeah, that sucks though. That sucks that people don't want to commit to it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but that's the problem, is that you have to commit to it, and a lot of
Yeah.
people don't want to make that time.
yeah. So I definitely get that. I organize my life around jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Me too.
Work life and everything. So.
Same. We have a
Yeah.
podcast called The BJJ Marriage.
Right. Right.
Have you heard of it?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I changed my careers for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember you did tell me that.
Yeah.
I forgot that quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I didn't mean to cut you off.
yeah, no, you're good. You're good. So yeah, I'm excited though. I really am.
You're getting good.
Appreciate that.
Like, too good. It's annoying.
I appreciate that. I mean, I did have a talk with myself. I was like, hey, do you think if the old Garrick came in the gym and challenged you, do you think you would take him? I was like, definitely.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Even though that old Garrick was like 190 pounds.
Mhm.
Just like a brute, you know. Now I'm 170.
This is
Great.
one of my favorite parts about getting people like you, like who haven't been there for like less than a year. And I love just like exposing you to all of this stuff where we're talking to you about the tiers, we're talking about competition, we're talking to you about rules, we're talking about like everything. And just, I love seeing your face like, really? And I'm like, oh yeah, we talk about this every day, but like, I guess that's so new to you.
Right.
And like, we get so like stoked and excited, and like we have a whole podcast because of how excited jiu-jitsu makes us, and we just love spreading that to other people.
Yeah.
And we love seeing people like you get so excited about it. Like, you're getting ready for your first competition in a month, and that's just phenomenal.
I am.
Because then if you take like, let's go back to the tiers. You take all those people that start jiu-jitsu, right? How many of those people that stay and actually make it to blue, purple, brown, black, how many of those are actually competitors? 1%.
1%.
Mike Coy says 1%.
Wow.
1% of the 1% of people who train.
Yeah.
Wow.
So take 100 people,
Right.
and let's say that 10 of them train jiu-jitsu, okay? Like, just pick 100 people in the world, 10 of them train jiu-jitsu. Probably 7 of them are white belts, 1 of them is a blue, 1 of them's a black, and maybe one's like a purple or a brown, all right? And then out of all those 10 people, probably only 1 or 2 of them compete.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yep.
That's a crazy statistic. I'm more interested to see how I do stack up in competition as well. I was eyeing all the 170ers yesterday at the jiu-jitsu event at Grappling Industries. And I was like,
we can train together.
yeah. No, I did say, because you did say, hey, Garrick, you want to compete? I said, as long as Nick Lee is filling in for Garrick, that's fine.
My name is Garrick.
As long as you're Garrick, wipe everyone in the division. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how it stack up, because I noticed one thing too. I even told your dad this. I was like, man, these 170ers, they're pretty big. You know, he's like, yeah, a lot of people actually cut to get to 170.
Yep.
So
yeah, surprisingly.
yeah. Me just being a natural 170 is that was the only intimidating part. But I was like, what the heck? Have fun with it.
Everything about competition is intimidating.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's really anything that can calm your nerves. Like Nick he's done over 100 matches at this point now. And even yesterday, he was still nervous.
Close, yeah.
He was still breathing before his competition. He was still
I
sitting.
still have a ritual for competition. Yeah.
Like, the intimidation factor does not really go away. But the nice part about it, and you'll understand this after next month, is that whether you win or lose, you're going to learn something and you're going to be better.
Right.
And the way that I explained it to Abro yesterday, because it was his first competition, is I was like, you may have lost 1 match, but you won 3. And even if you lost all 4 of your matches, you still would have left here basically taking 30 classes in 1 day. You would have taken 2 months worth of jiu-jitsu in 1 day just by everything that you experienced in those, 20 minutes of grappling.
Right. Yeah. I noticed, like, it was a lot of wrestlers.
Yeah.
A lot of wrestlers. And I was like, yeah.
Wrestling is the next wave of jiu-jitsu, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's where when you get a purple belt wrestler, those ones are scary.
Yeah, dangerous, huh?
Because they also know wrestling and they know jujitsu.
Right.
I didn't wrestle before jujitsu.
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I just learned it through. Thankfully, my coaches, when I was white belt, they're like, "You need to wrestle with me right now."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "You're gonna be thanking me in a couple of years."
Right.
Thank you, coaches.
Yeah. Like Devin, when he's a purple belt, he's going to be scary.
Devin is already like
He's good.
really good. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We wrestle all the time, and
yeah,
I'm very excited that he's even improved my game. You know, because I do the wrestling classes. That's one thing I love about this class, this gym too, is that we have Muay Thai. We have we're open. You know, we're an open gym. We're not just
all martial arts, wrestling, women's class, Muay Thai, kickboxing.
Self-defense.
We used to have a yoga. We're trying to get that back. So
we had some strength and conditioning.
Flow, kids.
Yeah,
there's options.
Yeah, there's a lot of options at this gym for sure. He's actually improved my wrestling. You know, since I've been wrestling with Devin. So
me too. He's helped me out.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Thanks,
yeah. He's really good.
So you know how you said how you felt about Nick yesterday? Like you were like, oh my God, he takes it easy on me. That was how I felt after watching Devin in his first competition.
Oh, really?
Were you around for that?
No. Well, I was. I did see some of the videos.
Starting, right?
I was just starting.
I saw Devin compete in his division, and he went in intermediate gi, right? No gi. He went in intermediate no gi, and he is a 0-stripe white belt. He might have 1 stripe now, but he was 0-stripe at the time.
But he's a wrestling coach, so.
But he's a wrestling coach, and I was just like, I'm excited to see how Devin competes. And Devin, for those of you who don't know, he's like 130 pounds. Like, he's a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
But I always have really fun rolls and scrambles with him, and we're a good even match because of his wrestling and because of my skill level on him. And I was like, I'm excited to see how he does. And he just tore it up. Like, he beat everyone, like, no problem. And I was like, Devin takes it easy on me.
He's a beast.
And I said to him, I was like, I am so mad at Devin right now. And I think the next roll I had with Devin, like I got him in mount or something. I was like, you can get out of this. Get out. And I was like, you are not allowed to take it easy on me anymore. I was so mad.
Yeah. He's a monster. Like he competed in intermediate, you know, as a white belt, and that's how you know. Yeah,
he's got positional dominance, no submissions.
Yeah,
exactly.
Some submissions.
Some submissions, I would say for sure. Even when when we go at it, he's one of those guys that he kills me. You know what I mean? He goes because he knows I won't take it easy. So he's like, you know what? He's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm the wrestling coach, and somehow I do end up on my back. It's like, what the heck? You're this big, but somehow he's really good. So.
Yeah,
he's got.
But it's a fun wrestling class too. I want more people to join for sure.
I would, but I need rest days.
Yeah. You take off Sundays, right?
Sundays and Mondays are off days. So
Sundays and Mondays.
Yeah, Sundays and Mondays. That's also our date days.
Okay, nice. You have some time together.
Exactly.
Least, yeah.
Otherwise, I'd literally be there every single day.
Yeah.
No one would know my name except for people in the gym.
Yeah. The hard part with the wrestling class, and it's not going to stay this way, but it's so new. And Sundays used to be an off day for fluid completely. Like, there used to not be anything. Ellie started the flow class just because she wanted an extra day. And she was like, whoever wants to come flow with me can come flow with me. And then as that class started growing, that's when more people started coming. And they're like, oh, we could actually make Sunday a fluid day. Like, we could make it more classes. And that's when a judo class started and a wrestling class started. But because that's so new and so fresh and so many people are already accustomed to having Sundays off, it's really hard to get people to come into that one right now. Right. But it will grow.
Yeah. It's wavy. Yeah. You know, some days we'll get 6, 7. Some days it'll just be me and Devin.
Yep.
So, you know.
Yeah. As long as it's consistent with a couple people, that's all you need.
Yeah, exactly.
You should really take those days to your advantage, though, on the days it's just you and Devin.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I do.
Because it's like a private lesson for free.
That's literally the way I view it. I'm like, oh, let's do it. And then he just have me, doing mostly cardio stuff, which I really want to work on. Yep. Just having the energy to do the things that I want to do, and especially in competition. That was the one thing I saw yesterday. I was like, okay, I think I can get away with a lot of stuff if I have the energy for it.
For sure.
Yeah.
But that's how 6 a.m. class was too. Like there were some days that Nick's like, it's just me and Mike Coy, but that's fine.
Right,
I'll take a private lesson from Mike Coy.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore. He's too popular now.
Right.
This was way back though. This was like a couple years ago.
2 years ago at this point, probably.
Because the 6 a.m. class has grown, right?
Yes.
There's like 12 people there every time now.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so you went to your first competition yesterday as a spectator. Mm-hmm. So what were a couple of the big things you noticed that like stick out? So you already said watching people in your weight class. Mm-hmm. Cardio is important, lots of wrestling. Yeah. But like as overall, like what pops out?
There was a lot of grip fighting.
Yeah.
Especially in my division. And that's one thing. So when I do competition roles, if they're bigger guy than me, I will grip fight, try to get, but I'm grip fighting to get to a position, just to get into my wrestling.
Yep.
So like with me, I was noticing yesterday, I was like, these guys will waste a lot of time grip fighting.
Yeah.
And that's not normally my style. So like now I'm like, okay, now I have to work with Nick on that to figure out, okay, how can that decrease the amount of grip fighting? Because even when, I remember you explaining to yourself yesterday, or to us yesterday, is like, the grip, if I would have kept grip fighting, I would have lost my energy.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yeah, right? That was with the loop choke.
Right.
Because I was trying to choke him too hard.
Right. Right.
Yes.
So, like, you would have lost
but
energy.
I was going to burn my hands out.
Yeah, and that's, I don't want to burn my hands out. So that's something.
Yeah, that's the same thing. If someone's in your guard and you're trying to pull really hard on their gi, you're going to burn your grips out there too.
Right.
And you want to keep that grip stamina.
Or if you're holding a submission for too long and they're not tapping, you're going to burn out whatever you're doing. Like, let's say you're trying to hold a triangle for 10 seconds and they're not tapping. Let it go. Move on. Like,
just move on.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So I did see that. I was like, man, they grip fight a lot.
Yeah. My theory with grip fighting is pop and shoot immediately.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you didn't notice, but I don't allow time for grip fighting.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. I mean, the people that face me might see this, but whatever. But I don't plan on grip fighting too much. I don't.
That's a really good thing to realize right away, though, because a lot of people don't, like, they don't come to scope out. They're just like, they're so focused in their own mindset, and they're like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do this, and this is my plan, and this is how it's going to work. But a lot of people don't realize that a lot of the times when you have a game plan, it's not going to go that way.
Right, exactly.
So if you already have it in your mindset, like, I'm not going to grip fight, then that's that takes away 20 things that you're just like, okay, well, if I do this, then I can do this and this and this. But if you're not going to even grip fight, then you don't even have to worry about any of that. You just move. Just do what feels natural.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's why you should practice no-gi.
Yeah.
You should practice
and
no-gi takedowns.
And I was about to say, I was loving that, though. I was like, when I watched the no-gi competition, I was like, okay, there's no room for good fighting. So now you have to get personal, really,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I honestly can't wait. No, I was actually anxious yesterday. I was like, should I have competed?
Right.
But I was like, it's too close to the holidays, though.
Yes, that's why. I didn't know if I was going to compete. I decided a week before.
I eat too well to compete during that time. So now I'm watching what I eat, and I'm nervous, but I can't. I'm more anxious than anything.
But you're an excited nervous, and that's the best kind of nervous to be.
I'm very anxious. I can't wait to see how I stack up in my division.
Me
either. I saw people with no stripes. Mm-hmm. I saw people with 4 stripes. Mm-hmm. I saw a no striper take out a 4 stripe yesterday. So I know the stripes means absolutely nothing when it comes to competition.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so.
It really is a huge reality check on yourself. Yeah. And like I said, whether you win or lose, you're going to learn something.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And you're going to learn so much about yourself through competition too. Like, even not on a jiu-jitsu level, you're just going to learn more about how you can handle things than you've ever learned before.
Right.
Like, jiu-jitsu is really a slap in the face.
Right. Right. Yeah.
How you respond to physical stress mentally.
Yeah.
That's one big thing.
Yeah.
And one thing I noticed too is how good this guy actually really is. I was like, dude, I was like so impressed. I was like, holy crap, you went up in weight.
Yeah.
In a whole weight class. Your first purple belt competition, right?
Yes.
And absolutely destroyed. And I was like, and I text Mike immediately. I was like, yeah, you know how we say, like, he's much better than I said, scratch that. He's much better than we actually thought.
Multiply that a little bit.
Right. I said when he turns it on, because Mike was explaining to me how you were like in competition mode with him last week and you just kept on tapping him out. And I was just like, he's much better than that, dude. Don't even. He was still taking it easy.
Yeah, if he wanted to make your life miserable.
Yeah, I was so impressed. I was like extremely impressed. And then the next match you went against a brown belt.
Yeah.
And you subbed him twice.
With the same thing.
With the same thing.
I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. When you get to that purple, around that purple range, it's like, it's fair game.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when you're an advanced gi or advanced no gi or expert no gi or whatever it is, it's just purple and up.
Yeah.
Like you could have won against a black belt if they did that.
It literally, I feel like the tiers of like belt is like, white belt you're learning, blue belt you're great but you're still learning, but when it comes to like purple it's like, oh, you know what you're doing at that point, and it doesn't matter if you go against a brown or purple, or a black, you know what you're doing at that point. So
there's a huge skill gap between white and purple, and there's a huge skill gap between blue and purple or black still. But once you start getting to like the higher blue belt, purple isn't really like that big of a difference anymore. And once you're at purple, brown isn't really that much of a difference anymore. It's just more so what you specialize at versus what that person specializes at.
Absolutely.
Whereas like you saw yesterday, Nick is really good at loop chokes.
I love loop chokes, by the way. I tried to loop choke that guy in Nogi, it didn't work though.
Yeah, that was really impressive though. I was really excited to see even Abro too. I was excited to see him compete as well.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, that was Abro's first competition. Yeah. He's a 2-stripe white belt, and he went out there and he killed it.
He did. Yeah.
And he was so calm, cool, and collected the entire time too. I was so impressed. He did so good. He did well.
Yeah.
I think it was funny because he had his opponent in the body triangle. Abro's like what? 205, very tall, very strong. And very I was like, fit, yeah. And I was like, oh, I feel bad for that guy. 'Cause I was in that same position by him, and it was brutal.
Yes.
You almost want to tap out to it, but it's like with those body triangles, you want to tap out to it, but like, you're fine. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It just sucks.
It's like, it's just a horrible position. So I remember when he had me in that same position, and I was literally coaching myself like, here, just don't tap. Do not just
survive
tap.
Here.
Just try survive. It's horrible, but you'll make it. And then when we made it, and then he let go, and I rested, and then he did something else and tapped me out. So it's like, I felt bad for that guy. I'm like, but that guy probably withstood it better only because, he was in the same weight class as the guy. But I felt bad for him yesterday when Abro put him in that body triangle. I was like, oh my gosh.
Everyone's just cringing on the sideline. Like, I've been there. I don't like that.
I was like, goodness. That hurts. But I was very impressed. I was excited to see Fluid, we absolutely did our thing yesterday.
We showed up.
We showed up and showed out. That was a lot of fun.
That's the coolest part about our gym too, is that we are very technically sound. Like we're
very technically sound.
Yeah, we're not very like macho, strong, mat bully type people. Yeah. And I don't know too many gyms that are, but there definitely are gyms out there that are like that. Yeah. And we are very focused on our technique. I mean, we have classes for an hour straight, whereas most people teach one technique and then it's rolling.
Yeah, I noticed that. Actually, when we went to another gym, it was like,
less instruction.
Yes.
One instruction, for probably about 20 minutes, and after that, for the rest of the class, they roll.
Yep. And did you notice that they were a lot more... Not even necessarily
grinding.
Strong, but grinding is a good word. You notice that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad I got that experience, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to experience on the mats in competition.
Absolutely.
I'm very grindy in competition, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's competition, so. But it was definitely a fun experience, though, too. I didn't know that's like traditionally, and that's how most schools are. It's just 30 minutes.
More similar to that.
Yeah. And then just roll right after.
Yep.
I guess that's how you get better at jiu-jitsu, but we are very technique based school.
Yes.
You know, that's what I tell all the newer people that come in. I'm like, if you just want to know jiu-jitsu, this is the perfect school.
Yep.
We do an hour straight of just pure techniques, just learning techniques.
And then you get to roll for an hour afterwards, too.
And roll for an hour afterwards. That's
Yeah.
where most of my time is, you know.
Well, the way
I'm just
that...
at jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Right. That's the way that my dad likes to describe it, though, because Master Elio, he was only 150 pounds, and he's the best that has ever lived. And he had to defend himself against people who were trying to attack him in Brazil. And so he made jiu-jitsu so that it was for the smaller man, but it's for anyone.
Right.
So, like, if you are training, you should know how to do self-defense, which is why the black belt test is only self-defense, not even any grappling, which is kind of crazy. I don't even know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You have to know all 75 self-defense techniques. It's nothing to do with triangles or arm bars or any of that.
Oh, wow.
There's some guillotines.
I mean, yeah, but it's not
Kimuras,
grappling.
arm bars. There's some arm bars.
Yeah, but it's not like on the floor grappling trying to save your life.
Yeah.
But basically, knowing those techniques is what's going to save you. It's what's going to keep you alive. It's what's going to keep them at bay with your legs in a guard if they're trying to throw punches at you. It's trying to move yourself out of position instead of moving your opponent. So it's made for the smaller human, but that's where we always say that jiu-jitsu is for everyone. So my dad likes to incorporate that at Fluid, where it's an hour of technique because you need to learn what works for your body.
Right.
And you need to figure out what technique is going to protect you from the worst position possible.
Right.
And I always tell every single new person, especially the females right now, is that we learn a lot in an hour. Like, your brain can only consume so much information, and we're learning probably 5 to 10 techniques every single hour.
Right.
And I want you to just leave with one. And I always tell them, if you can take one thing away from this class and try to use it in your live rolling afterwards, that's how it'll stick. Don't try to remember all the time.
I actually agree with that too, because, you know, after every class, you know, whether we're working on knee on belly or anything like that, I'd take one technique that would actually work and try to do it, you know, after class.
Move of the day.
You know? Yeah, move of the day. Yeah. But yeah, that's more that's my goal too, because I can't take in everything that we do. But
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Even if you were to write it all down, you're still not going to retain it all.
Absolutely.
That's why I still go to beginner class.
Yeah. I don't think I won't stop going to beginner class for a very long time.
I feel like I learned so much in beginner class. Like, there's so many times that I'm like, I should be doing that.
Right.
I know I've seen that. I know that move. I don't do that. I'm going to start doing that. Almost every Thursday I feel that way.
Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
And you'll see, if you watch my videos that I'm going to post the competition from yesterday, when I'm at the gym, I don't do like basic fundamental stuff when I'm rolling with people. I play around with jiu-jitsu. My matches yesterday were all basic fundamental things that we learned in beginner class.
Double leg takedown, taking the back, securing your hooks.
I did a knee slice pass.
Right.
I went straight to mount. I held him in mount. I went for Americana, and then I choked him.
The only highlight reel thing that he did is when he did a flying back take.
like Professor said, he's like, Nick's like a cat. You know?
I see the back, I attack the
back. Did you see it in the video that you kind of paused too? Like, he was almost in turtle, and you were just like, oh, the back! And then he just sprung up.
I was like, holy crap.
I was trying to throw him off a little bit.
Goodness. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite moves.
So Nick did a flying back take yesterday, but he didn't get points for it because it was out of bounds.
Because it was out of bounds,
really lame.
But I would have choked him if it wasn't out of bounds. It would have been over at that moment. I had to choke him a different way later.
And that was crazy.
That was probably the highlight of the tournament.
Yeah,
that was super fun.
Yeah, it was definitely worth the hour and a half drive down there.
For sure, in the snow.
Yeah, in the snow. That was a lot of fun watching that. You know, I definitely enjoyed myself. Everybody else was sitting down. I was just sitting there, just watching every match. I'm like, this is so much fun. I didn't recognize how much I love this. Yeah, you know what I mean. So cool. I can't wait to be a part of that. You know,
it's gonna be fun.
I thought that was a Grappling Industries. It's actually a Fuji tournament
in February. Yeah, it's a Fuji one.
So let's see.
That's okay. Grappling Industries is around all the time. There's going to be another one in April, on April 9th in Chicago again. We won't be in town for that. We'll be in Florida for IBJJF. But if you ever wanted to do that one, you could. May 28th, there's one in the Dells, and that one is ginormous. There's like probably
over 1,000 competitors.
Yep. It's insane.
Jeez.
So you would get plenty of matches that day. We also won't be around for that one. We're going to be in Pennsylvania for a wedding, and we're really, really bummed about not being able to be there for the competition.
We're super happy to support our family at
I
the
was
wedding.
just about to say, we're very excited for the wedding, but we are bummed we can't be there for our team. Because the Dells is definitely the biggest one. Last time we were in the Dells, I think we brought 12 competitors with us. So, we bring a big team. But I think Fuji, that's where we're kind of, like, pushing people to do Fuji. Because my dad, Nick, and I all know we're not going to be there for May 28th. Yeah, so we're like, please do Fuji so we can watch you succeed. And then, like, go to May 28th even though we're not there.
Right. Yeah. I'm definitely going to go to that one, though, for sure. The May 28th. I said around probably 2 to 3 competitions a year, depending on how I feel.
That's good.
What's the status, so we'll see what happens.
And then you start being like Dave and just start traveling everywhere. Because you just want to compete anywhere against anyone.
Yeah. But it's also hard to find matches when you're Dave.
Yeah.
Him and I are in the same bracket. Oh, no, he's at 185 now, not 170.
Yeah, he stopped cutting. Yeah, but he didn't do this competition because he also knew it was the holidays and he didn't want to have to cut weight.
It's literally right after the holidays.
Nick didn't sign up until after the holidays.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to see what I weigh after. And he's like, I'm 172. I can compete.
Well, maybe I should do it then.
So if you're 180 or anything like that, would you?
I would have said nah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would have been like, nah, I'm not on weight.
Yeah. How are the scales there, too? You know,
they're light.
They're light?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I go in probably, 172? Well, if I, weigh myself at home and I was 172.
You'd probably be 168 there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The leeway is up to one pound over. Okay. So you could weigh 171 anyways. Okay. But there was one time where I was, really worried about my weight. And I was around, 170...
I think it was 170.4 or something.
Yeah, when I woke up or whatever.
And we had a 2.5 hour drive, so it was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, and I weighed 164.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is bullshit.
No, you were so mad.
That's what Devin was too. So what do we think Devin is, 135?
Yeah.
So I think Devin weighed in at 130.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not 130.
I was like, I could have done a 155 pound division.
So I probably could have competed this weekend then.
Probably.
Yep, probably. But
lessons learned, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Grappling Industries always seems to run I don't know if Fuji scales are the same, so just be aware of that. I would still try to cut to what you need. And you don't want to take that gamble. Let's say their scales are on par that day. I would still try to cut to what you need to be.
Nice thing about Fuji is they typically allow you to weigh in the night before.
Yeah, that's right.
So you can weigh in that night, and then go
have steak dinner.
Up.
Yeah.
And then not be worrying about that Saturday morning.
That's what Dave does. He goes and gets a porterhouse after he weighs in for Fuji.
Really?
Yeah.
After Fuji or before?
Before.
Oh.
He's like, I weighed in. I'm on weight. I'm going to go get steak now.
He's a little wild.
It's interesting. I love steak, so I might have to steal that from you, Dave. That's... I can't wait. I'm excited for it. So
it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, see how I stack up against my competition.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, let's brag about Nick a little bit more from yesterday because he did phenomenal. He actually made
matches.
He went 4-0, all submissions. He submitted the gi guy who was 15 pounds heavier than him with the same loop choke in both matches. So he submitted him, and he made his spirit so crushed that the guy didn't even show up for the medal picture.
He did not.
At all. We couldn't find him at all. I think the announcer called his name at least 10 times.
Yeah.
And we waited, and even my dad went to go try to find him, and we couldn't find him, and he just didn't show up. So Nick took a solo picture, which is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, this dude's good. I was literally mind blown. Yeah, that was insane.
All four of my matches followed the exact same format. The same takedown. Basically, the first match, I didn't have to pass the guard. Well, I did one guard pass.
He pulled guard on you the second time, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but get to mount, make them insufferable in mount.
Yeah.
To give up their back, and then choke them.
Did you feel like the guy was much stronger? Did you feel that at all?
In the upper weight class?
Yeah.
No. No, I don't think so.
Technique outweighs strength.
Yeah.
Always, though.
Yeah.
That's why I like going against big guys.
Especially in the purple belt division too. It's like I'm pretty sure that didn't really matter too much. You know?
Half of my jiu-jitsu has been focused on the correct posture at the correct time. So if I got good posture, his strength is not going to matter.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, the same thing in no-gi. Took them down, mounted them, grinded them, opened up their arms, and then I ended up in a rear triangle armbar both times.
Yeah.
Crazy.
On the same
I was
shoulder,
like, I want to learn that. Learn how'd you get there?
That one's a bit tougher.
You just get the S mount.
That's the same finish I had in my last no-gi tournament against David.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. After you sacrificed through him?
No, not no-gi.
Mm.
Yeah, because that was no-gi. I did that triangle armbar on him.
That's right.
So you're competing in pants?
Yes.
Nice.
IBJJF.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how you stack up, man.
Yeah, we'll see.
A lot of fun. And you're going to do the one in Vegas too, or you're thinking about it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I would like to. Yeah. It's a goal of mine. Yeah.
You didn't want to do the blue belt one? Blue belt division?
I don't remember what happened.
Yeah.
But no. There was some reason we decided it wasn't worth it. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, I know this last one that we were at in November was a Masters tournament, so he wasn't 30 yet. He couldn't do it.
Or just, I don't know. Something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's only a Masters tournament.
The one that we were just at, I don't know if it stays that way.
There's also a regular Worlds tournament with all adults.
Okay. Yeah. But I was going way back to earlier in this episode when you said you noticed the grip fighting a lot. Mm-hmm. That was something that I noticed too, even at IBJJF, is I was watching all of these world-class black belt females going against each other, and I was so stoked to watch all of this and how their techniques played out. And I noticed more than anything else, like more than techniques, more than guard pulling, more than anything, girls would literally just grip fight. And they would hold on, and their hair would be going everywhere, and they would just be moving like this, and I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah. And
I looked at my dad, and I was like, is that, like, normal? And he's like, yeah, you did that. And I'm like, why would I do that? And I'm like, but that, like, flipped a switch in my brain that I was like, okay, so when I train for my next competition, I'm also not going to grip fight. Yeah. I think I'm going to keep my hands down, and I think I'm going to shoot.
Right. And that's literally...
That's my game plan.
My game plan.
I push and shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I saw two girls, and they were doing stand-up for 4 of the 5 minutes. And I was like, what are we doing right now? Like, when you get to the ground, you're not going to have anything
yesterday,
left.
too. I'm like, oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, neither one of you are getting points right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's just a waste of time.
In my last match, I was, I think I did stand-up for over a minute with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew he was a judo brown belt on top of a jiu-jitsu brown belt. And I really thought about pulling guard. And then I was like, I'm going to try to shoot one more time.
But that's why people do pull guard. Because they don't want to waste the time standing up. They don't want to waste the time not getting points when they could be grappling and doing the thing that they know. However, I really don't think that pulling guard is the way that you should do it in a competition. I think you should showcase everything you're learning.
But like after a minute or two,
pull guard. Honestly, after a minute.
Okay, somebody needs to give in here.
Yeah, that I understand. I really do.
That's where I was going down that thought pattern in my match. I was like, do I pull guard yet? Nah.
But in your mind, you thought because he was a judo player, he's just looking for that opportunity to throw you.
And he almost threw me a couple times.
Yeah. But with those girls who were going for 4 minutes, I also was like, why don't you pull guard? I want to see some jiu-jitsu now, not just dancing.
Yeah, definitely. I even saw like other people going against, like, schools going against each other as well. And I was like, oh, wow. It was pretty funny because I saw a 3-stripe white belt of the same school go against another 3-stripe white belt of the same school. And I was like,
who's alpha right now?
I'm interested to see how this works out. Because I imagine that's me and Mike. You know, eventually. That's going to be me and Mike. I know that.
Yeah.
You know, we're both going to be 3-stripe white belts going against each other. So I was like, let's see how this works out. Yeah. And I saw a huge clear. It was like set in stone. One person was more there for time than the other person wasn't there for skill. Yep. Like it was immediate skill difference.
Yep.
I was like, okay.
And that's why we always say that competition, people who train for competition are way different than hobbyists.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally different.
I could tell that the guy was there. This was probably his first match, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And there's nothing wrong with being a hobbyist. There's plenty. I think people should do it for a hobby.
Yeah.
It's great for long-term health. It's great to keep you motivated and moving. But, like, there are competition people jiu-jitsu, and that's how he is. I would say that's how I roll. I'm a very more competition-style roller than I am a hobbyist roller.
Right.
And I would say that's how a lot of people at Fluid roll is more, I guess not super grindy, but just like competition style if they're not there for hobby.
Yeah.
We do have a team of competitioners.
Which is kind of crazy because
competitioners.
It is a hobby still, but it's also like you want to murder people.
Right.
Murder yoga.
And even the people there that don't really compete, they're really good.
Yeah.
You know, if they did compete, like, you know, they'd be really good.
Mm-hmm. But remember when I said take 100 people and 10% of them do it, and then only like 1% does jiu-jitsu or does competition? Think about Fluid.
Yeah.
We have 120 people. I think maybe 10 of us compete on a regular basis.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
I can't wait for it though. I'm excited. This should be a lot of fun.
It'll be awesome.
It's gonna be super fun. But yeah, one more fun fact about competition from yesterday is no one scored a point on me, which I was very proud of.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't have to use my guard, which means
this is crazy. That's just insane. Because you have a fantastic guard too, so like it's just
we've been
wild.
working on it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny because Mike Coy, I posted that on Twitter. I haven't had to use my guard in the last 2 tournaments actually at this point. And he was like, "It's your secret weapon." One day I'll have to get to use my guard.
Yeah.
It's just wild that you didn't have to, because we always talk about how you revert back to your guard when you're in trouble. Like, you run home and that home is your guard. Yeah.
Right.
And so the fact that you didn't have to revert back to that meant that you were really never in trouble, which is just kind of insane.
I was just on top and pushing the pressure the whole 10, 12 minutes I grappled yesterday.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say it didn't seem like you were going at it for that long either, though. It seemed like you finished them off pretty quick.
I know. I thought there was some of the matches were like 3.5 minutes. Yeah. The other ones were like 1.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So maybe that is 10 minutes of grapple.
Yeah.
but yeah,
crazy.
Those 3-minute matches didn't feel like 3 minutes.
So what was your top takeaway?
Top takeaway is set the tone at the beginning of the match. Mm-hmm. My number one thing that I learned, there was a time where I competed at a tournament and I just kind of wanted to play and like we'd slap bump and then see what happens. But right now my philosophy is the referee says go and I put them on their back step. I put them on defense immediately. Gotcha. Even if they just have to defend a takedown or whatever. If I'm on offense and they're on defense, I make more choices than they do on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Ultimately, that's how I feel.
I like takeaway.
Yeah. And then from that stemming offense-defense dichotomy, I try my best to make dilemmas in every position I'm in. Mm-hmm. So it's a dilemma, you're going to defend the grips, you're going to defend the shot, are you going to defend the position, or you defend the submission?
Right.
That's where the triangle armbar really comes in, because that's a fantastic dilemma. It's like, do I defend the triangle or do I defend the armbar? Because whichever one I don't, the other thing's going to happen.
I somehow got to get out of here.
I watched your video and I'm like, okay, how did he get there? Like, how did you get there from like back? I'm like, how did he get his leg up there? I'm like, oh my, I got so much to learn about jiu-jitsu. That's one thing I love about this sport. This sport is limitless, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I don't think there is like an end to this sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's always going to be a new move.
Yeah.
That is going to be exploited. It's like, dang, until the next one comes, you know?
Wait till you go to a Master's Hour seminar.
Yeah.
You're just going to be...
You know the dummy sweep?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how effective it is once you grab their ankles, you can just dummy sweep them? That purple belt tried to dummy sweep me 3 times, and I stuffed it using something I learned that was super simple from Master's Hour.
Wow. You're going to have to teach for that.
Yeah, it's great. And I could see it in his eyes. He's like, why is this not working? And then I passed his guard.
Yeah, always. After I learned about the dummy sweep, I always position my legs. I'm like, no, they will never be that close.
Yeah.
Because I will definitely feel like an idiot if they're that close. So.
Yeah, that's my go-to. I stand up and guard. I hate passing guard on my knees.
Same. Yeah.
Is it because of a balance thing? Because it's a balance thing for me. I can't keep my balance when I'm on my knees in someone else's guard.
Just gotta work on your posture with that. That's all.
Oh, okay.
But no, it's me. It's because my knees hurt like hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
So.
okay. You too?
I had that issue for
Yeah.
a while, but I like standing in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more powerful.
Yeah. You have a lot more leverage. I mean, when you're on your knees, you really only have your knees to like get where you're going.
Right.
When you're on your feet, you have all of your leg room and all of your arm strength and everything, and you can manipulate their leg. Literally, just take them and whoop.
Right.
Yeah.
Learning something from this podcast. And I'm incorporating to my game.
You'll see it now too. When we roll
Yeah.
next, you'll see I'll stand up, and you're gonna be like, "That's what you're talking
Yeah,
about." Like,
exactly.
I never pass guard on my knees anymore.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Only if I can't do it standing.
I never say never. But
I prefer standing.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's good.
Mhm.
I definitely gonna work on that more for sure.
And Ellie's the same way. She says she always passes guard standing too.
Yeah.
So you'll notice that. Maybe it's like a higher belt thing. Like you've just used your knees so much that you just don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ellie. I learned a lot from Ellie too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
She's a phenomenal teacher.
Amazing. You know, like you said, she's the one who opened the flow, and she told me, "Hey, you should just start coming to flow."
Yeah.
You know,
We'll just
and
move and
I
do
think
stuff.
flow is like probably 70% of my game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Hell
being
yeah.
completely honest with you.
That's where
You
jiu-jitsu
know?
really lives, is in the transitions.
Yeah, in the
Because you said,
transition.
like, okay, how did he get to that triangle armbar? Because he can't just put it there.
Yeah,
gotta
exactly.
get to
How
that.
in the heck did you get there?
Yeah.
So even when I flow today, you know, I'm definitely just gonna do stupid things. It allows me to do
Yeah.
stupid things without the
Mhm.
threat of being,
Exactly.
you know,
Getting hurt or getting
choked
submitted or
yeah,
losing.
yeah. It's like
Absolutely.
I could tell your game changed too when you started doing more flow. Like I
Yeah.
remember rolling with you, and I was like, "You're moving very well,"
I
and you're like,
appreciate
"It's flow," and I'm like, "I can tell. It's good."
I appreciate that. Ellie says the same thing. I'm like, I
Okay.
guess. I'm
Yeah.
trying. That's the only thing I can do. I'm doing the best I possibly can. Yeah, I make
Yeah.
sure I don't skip a flow class. You
Good.
know,
That's awesome.
because those are the best days. I even tell the newcomers, I'm like, hey, you should
Come
try
on.
it.
I think all
You
white
know,
belts should go to flow.
Yeah, just try it.
Yeah.
I understand how stressful Sundays are, but you should try it. I mean, like, because
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to worry about being rigid or stale or anything. With
Pressure,
come in flow, relax,
Yep.
Yeah.
and just move.
And sweat.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
It's a great,
You know,
great way to do jiu-jitsu. I love it.
one of the guys, also one of my favorite guys to roll with, Eric.
Yeah.
His wife
Yes.
came in,
Margaret.
and her first day was flowing.
Oh, okay.
Right, and she's like, "Oh, I love this." Right.
Yeah.
I trained with her. We rolled together. Like 3 weeks later, and I was like, "Holy crap, you've gotten so much better." I was like, "Eric, do you guys like roll at home?" And she was like, "They were like, no."
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're getting that point where, remember we talked about the slope?
Yeah.
So you're still on
Yeah.
that slope, but she's also on that
Yeah.
slope. Because
I was like-
she's at the 6 month.
I was
Or
like- I
you're
was
at the 6
very
month, she's right here.
I was very impressed with that. So I was like, "Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
flow is like really important." I tell all the newcomers, I'm like, if you really want to get good at jiu-jitsu, it's one sleeper there, and that's flow.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
just give
That's
it a
it.
shot.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
it was super fun having you on today.
Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate
Yeah.
you coming over
Yeah.
and talking about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. hopefully we can get Mike in. you
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Yes, we will, definitely.
Yeah, the better half of me.
Your yin to your yang.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad to be here. This
it
a
was
lot of
super
fun.
cool to have
Yeah.
you here. And
Yeah.
it's cool to get a different perspective, too, because, I mean,
Yeah.
we're not at that stage anymore. We used to be, but we're not. And so to have it be fresh and new and, like, talking about how much fluid has changed since we were at that position.
Right.
It's very cool.
Right.
And I'm glad we could open up your perspective on so many things to come because
Yeah.
it's never ending. It's limitless.
Yeah. This was fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yes.
All right.
Well, very good. Well, thanks so much, and
Have a great week,